Hey, what's up, Scott? I'm gonna give everybody a little bit of time here to get on. How was everybody's New Year's Eve? What did everybody do? I didn't do nothing. I stayed at home and worked on videos. So nothing. Yeah. Hey, well, that's what happens when you get old. You you're not near as fun. So I'm the same way. Yeah, you too, Josh. I actually I have this out right now because this will be the next video that you guys see. The video quality here is probably pretty crappy because my entire front screen on my phone is busted. That's why I don't do live feeds and stuff. But I kind of fixed it, I think, enough to get through this. Hopefully it's not too crappy for you guys. But Happy New Year, Luke. This is this will be your next video you guys get to see. It's the Ben Wright ring. Um, I don't want to get into it too much because cold and runny nose. I don't want to get into it too much because it kind of will take away from the video. But the video will be out very soon, I would think. It's pretty much, part one's pretty much finished right now. Probably put that out. I may work on it, trying to put it out tonight. If not tonight, it'll be tomorrow. And we kind of focus on the Ben Wright ring. It's had a big job removals both from the video, so what I since I kind of had a chance with 14 people. Hey Joey, what you doing, buddy? I figured I'd bring up some talking information, which this is my box of goodies. This is some of my climbing gear, but I really wanted to do this, start the year out. Hey Dennis, how you doing, buddy? Oh, all the way from Georgia, right on. I want to answer any questions that you guys got. Antique wax. Okay. Anik, how you doing? So, kind of set up a little bit of gear and stuff here. Harnessing my inner Joey cap. I'm working on configurations. Joey, how many of you came up with today? 5, 6, 7, 20? Does anybody have any, well, hang on. We'll kind of let the people roll in for a little bit before we really get into any climbing gear kind of questions. Joey, awesome. If you guys don't know Joey, you gotta look up Joe on Facebook or Instagram. Guy really loves tree work, and the whole technical aspect of it, you can see that he kind of enjoys that. What is the best saddle, or what do you prefer? Wow, that is a really good question. Um, I would have to say, for me personally, I would love to try like the Monkey Beaver saddle. I have never tried that. I've heard I've heard a lot of good stuff about Step of Faith says that he really likes the Sequoia. Heard a lot of good things about it too. Um, I kind of feel like the design aspect of the Sequoia and the Monkey Beaver belts are somewhat similar. But me personally, you guys may find this weird, but I like Weaver. Weaver has been all I've ever on. My dad used Weaver saddles. My first saddle was, obviously one of my dad's old ones, and it was, the butt saddle strap with the D rings. I use the Cougar with the webbed bridge. That webbed bridge is a brilliant design as far as I'm concerned. How you doing, BR? Um, it works perfect for SRT for me, and I really love the saddle. So it is very, very, very comfortable, but it's somewhat heavy. So I mean, if you're someone that doesn't like all that weight, you may not like it. Josh Arneson says that he has the new Tribe Onyx, and he lives had to give advice. Just said to be basically bomb proof, and that I need to get one. And I agree with him that I do. But first, I gotta hit the lottery. But yeah, that's never gonna happen. Stupid runny nose. Robert Bettis says he's also got the Onyx, but he likes his old Ergovation better. Eric Roby. These things keep coming off here so quick. Happy New Year, buddy. You play the lottery every day, BR? Yeah. I used to until I realized and come to the realization that I have the world's worst luck and that I can't leave anything to luck, and lottery's luck. So I'm doing pretty good. Tree trimmer, he just joined the channel, I do believe, and really have liked the comments and stuff he's been leaving. He's like a pretty knowledgeable guy, just looking to branch out and kind of, but then I'll say steal information, but that's not what I mean at all. I think you guys should use these kind of platforms. What's up, Travis? Like YouTube and Instagram and stuff, and take what you can from it. It's there. Every climber before you didn't have this. They didn't have the opportunity to pick up their phone and type in something and have a library of video. Well, I think that's just because he's on my live feed right now. No, maybe not. Never supposed to do this. Wasn't. Did never plan on it becoming anything. It was just more for to show customers, give something to the employees to show their family and stuff like that. And I just like making videos. Before I did tree work, I did too. But I guess the whole creating thing I kind of like. Kind of gives me an outlet to do that. Derek Schaefer says he just started last year. Well, you should definitely don't hesitate with asking questions. You know, the only dumb question is the one that you don't ask, in my opinion, especially doing it for my past few years, I have learned I have learned more than I've ever learned. My dad taught me the basics, but you know that gave me a great foundation to kind of start from. But the tools and the technology of today make the job safer, make it a lot easier. And I get that DRTs, what everybody knows sometimes, but don't be stubborn. Don't stop yourself from learning some new techniques, because I wouldn't still use these techniques right now if they didn't actually, help me and make things easier. So, that's the reason I go SRT and I do a lot of stuff like that and use a lot of new equipment, because it's a lot easier, and it helps me, you know, makes things a little safer. But another thing I wanted to touch on is leaving comments. I let's see here. Well, thanks, Sean. Sean just wanted to throw a little support out. I really dig that. I appreciate you being here. I yeah, Joey, I agree. You kind of have a platform here that you can spread it. The information, and kind of help everybody out. That wasn't what I intended to do originally, but then I kind of realized that it kind of became something, which I didn't think it would. So I feel like if you want to master something, and you ever want to say that you have mastered something, that you definitely need to spread that information and give the info and the knowledge that you've learned. If you can't do that, then you haven't mastered that yet. So keeping knowledge and kind of storing it away, and I feel like I'm a pretty secure guy. I'm not insecure with the way I work and stuff, so I have no problems giving all the info that I have to everybody. Um, Back to what I was saying about the leaving comments and stuff. I don't want you guys to hold back and feel like you can't. I don't want you guys to feel like you can't leave the comments that you want to leave. This isn't fucking Billy Ray's page. This is real life. I'm this is real world, and not everybody's going to agree. You're not going to hurt my feelings. You're not going to have 15 people jump on you because you have a different opinion. If you feel like you need to give me some info, have at it. You know, for me to sit here and pretend like I know everything would be stupid. So that's one thing I wanted to touch base on, is that don't hold back. You guys, I don't need everybody, I appreciate the kind comments and everything, but I don't need my ego stroked. It's big enough. So when you go to leave a comment, just be truthful. Say what you want to say. It's not like I'm going to leave you and kick you off the channel or nothing like that. Um, the I would say probably it was yesterday or the day before. It's almost Christmas time, and I'm reading through the comments, and I don't know who Mike Ross is, but Mr. Ross decided he was going to leave me a very nice message, and he decided that he was just going to ream me and tell me how much he hated me and how much I should die and how stupid my videos are. And that's okay. I didn't. I responded back because I feel like I should respond to all you guys. There's probably, if this channel keeps growing the way it has, it may get to where I can't respond to you all, but I want to. So I responded back and let him know that it's okay. You can disagree with me, I'm fine with that. But I'm not just going to boot you. So I don't know if he changed his mind and yanked his comment down or what happened, but I have yet to hear back from him. So if he's out there. Happy New Year. But let's get into some climate stuff. Does anybody got any questions when it comes to like DRT setups, SRT, stuff like that? Because that's kind of all I've been really working on here lately. Here, let's do this. All right, here's the setup I use for DRT. You use your hitch climber pulley. I go with a VT with the knot. Clicked in. I have my friction saver right up here. The best thing about these micro pulleys and the prusiks and stuff like that is the ability to tend your slack with one hand. Tend it one hand when you're going out on a limb walk. Everything is just so easy, and you know you're able to keep your balance a lot more. I feel like that only gets better when you switch to SRT. So if we were going SRT, am I missing? Oh my, I'm sorry guys. The comments got. That's why I enjoyed your channel. Well, thanks, Robert. Oh, Arbor Care Tree Service. Hey, buddy. I've enjoyed all his comments. That's a real knowledgeable guy. You can tell he's spent enough time in the industry, and he knows what he's talking about. And we could use more people like him around here. But SRT, same thing would happen here with this, except for, let me explain for those that don't know it, why SRT works like it does, and why you're able to use this simple knot in DRT and it works. But if you just try to use this just this knot, it's not going to work with like it would with DRT. It all boils down to this bend in that rope. That bend that it creates right there allows this to create enough friction to run off of a single rope, where normally it would double up and come back down. So if you look at this bend here resembles the bend that you would have if you were running DRT. So let's pretend like this wrench is basically the crotch that you're over, cambium saber, whatever. That bend is going to go up and it's going to come back down, and then you're basically, there's a DRT system. Well, what they did was take that out, create that bend, which slows the rope down and allows this friction cord to make the right amount of friction to be safe on a single rope. For those that haven't tried it, I would definitely give SRT a shot if you haven't. Let me show you guys the first SRT setup I ever had, which was nothing more than hand ascender, Gree 2, those that have never seen the Gree hooked up, it goes in there and it's a loaded cam, and it has a trigger on the back. So if you look, this engages there. As you see it come up a little bit right there, that's the cam engaging, which allows that to work. Camera's pretty slow there, but this same setup was just like this. You would attach a foot loop here to the bottom of your hand ascender, come down, that would go up. And if you needed to be able to tend your slack to go up, you would just like you would with the zigzag, you would slap a micro pulley on there, connect it, and there you go. There's your There's your 2-to-1, 3-to-1, whatever. But yeah, I started on the Greekery. It kind of made me understand the whole concept and usage of SRT. Then I moved to the rope wrench. I still use the Greekery every once in a while. I got a couple different wrenches. There's one from Tree Stuff. Ooh, the Akimbo. Yeah, Arbor. Yeah. I wish I could try one. I haven't had the chance to try it yet, but man, I would really love to. That thing just looks nice. Okay, let's see here. Cassius. 6'6" Cassius. He says, "Thank you for saying this is not trying to be safety police, but I think when you are tied into another tree and working on a questionable tree and double tie into to questionable tree with some rope you ooh, I think spell check may have really beat your question up there. Ask me one more time so I can kinda sorry about that. I couldn't make heads or tails of that one. Step of faith. That's why I love the zigzag, he says. How them boys doing? Yeah, I've that's another thing. I haven't had the privilege of using a zigzag either. That is just a basically it's a mechanical prusik, which is a brilliant idea. But that's one thing I haven't had the privilege of trying either is the zigzag. I'm not a fan of how it is actually put onto the rope because it's not midline attachable. But hey, if that's what you use, set that thing on your rope up towards your split eye or your eye splice, and you're set to go always. Very little setup there. So I guess it's all in what you like. Let's see if that question popped there again. Explain to the people how the weight from the left foot to the right foot is it big? Oh, in SRT, Joey brought up kind of a good thing, good question here. When you're doing SRT, the rope walker system, to do that, you're going to use what is some of you guys may have the mini Saka. I use the classic Haas, but it is a knee ascender that has this bungee on it. Okay, well this bungee goes up and hooks to your. Well, here, let me just go ahead and move the system up. We'll set it up. There it is. Okay, there's your SRT system. Now, what you're going to do is you'll go ahead and hook this up, your knee ascender, which will be your left foot. As you go up and you tend your slack, this tightens, which pulls it up. Just hook it there. But look, if I was to hold that, now that goes up. Now watch when I let go of the Haas. Boom. It tends itself. With that, and you have that tending, the only other thing you would need to be in a full rope walker system would be a foot ascender, which the reason the knee ascender is so great is because it offsets itself from where your other foot would be. Your other foot would be down in this region, so these grabs aren't hitting each other, like you would with 2 foot ascenders. This stays up above the knee, this stays down where the feet are at. They're both rope grabs and they work together, boom, 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 all the way up. You want to stay centered, over your rope wrench and keep everything right in front of you. Stay upright. Other than that, I mean, SRT with the wrench is just something that, you know, you give it a try, and it's, and little by little you can dial it in. It's not something I feel like anybody gets right from the get go, but hey, it is what it is. You know, it takes a little bit of practice. A real important trick when it comes to SRT for me is as simple as a speed line strap and a carabiner. This allows me to, you know, I throw a couple of these on the back of my saddle. Wherever I'm working the tree, I could be here, and then I end up working a branch way over here. Well, instead of my rope being from there all the way over to this branch, if I was to slip, look at that far swing. There's no sense in doing that swing. So you run your rope over, and you would take this, hook it to a branch right above there where you're working, or on where you're working, and then click your climb line into it. If you slip, you ain't going nowhere. You're staying right there. Little tricks like that. I mean, I'm sure that they can be used in DRT, not as easily, but yeah, little things like that's what makes SRT so fun, easy, safe for me. So hopefully that kind of answered what you were talking about there, Joe. Let's see what we got here. Asking patrol if tree. Oh, okay, Cassius. I think are you talking about like let's say that we were tied into an opposing tree or neighboring tree right next to it, and we're working a really dead tree. Are you talking about being tied into that tree that you're afraid could fail? Because I totally get that. That's one thing that, you know, I'll try not to really be tied into those kind of trees as much as I can possibly keep away from it, because if the tree fails, you're stuck with it. You know, you're not climbing that tree for a reason. You're tied into another one for a reason because that tree's bad. So I get the whole intimidation and not wanting to be connected to that tree in case it was to fail. But you also need what you want, the two tie-in points when cut, no matter what, just in case one was to fail. When you limit yourself to the one tie-in, you could be tied into the greatest tree. Let's say the bad top breaks out of the other tree, grabs a hold of your line, catches it right in the middle, and rips you out of that tree. It could rip your tie-in point out, whatever, but just a simple lanyard into it. I think I don't really like ever doing like a second tie-in pointing into those kind of trees, but I do like to lanyard in. But I'm it's always going through my head that as I'm cutting, if this was to fail, my chainsaw is going to cut that lanyard. I will slice that lanyard clean in half before I'll go down with it. Um, a good thing when it comes to tree work is play every scenario over in your head. The good, the bad, what could happen, what may happen, and kind of prepare for all those things, because it can be pretty unpredictable. But you know, if as long as you give yourself somewhat of a game plan, or you know, you've thought it out a little bit in your head, it won't come as such a shock. You won't be reacting off instinct. You'll be reacting off of, you know, what you've already thought out in your head. It's kind of a hard thing to explain, but I'm always playing out everything with a cup, because everything has multiple ways it could go. So try to play them all out in my head as much as I can, and then use which one I feel like is going to be the safest, most effective, most efficient way. So sometimes it varies, but that's it. If I was given a tip to a new climber, I know it looks like it's going to be easy. I know it looks like it's going to go. I know it looks like it's perfect. But what if? What if? Always, always ask yourself, what if? And you may not find yourself ever in that spot if you do that. So hopefully that answered what Cassius was asking there. I agree with you. Wish there was more. Well, I appreciate that, Arbacare. You know, I really do, man. What's your favorite hitch cord rope? Is what Scott asked. I tell you what, Scott, that's an awesome question, man. I tell you what, I got an arm or an iron. This one here, yeah, yeah, that's the Iron Street. I really like it. It's it's a little longer than my normal hitch cord. Um, Here's what I normally use, and it's a Rope Logic. Let's see if I can find the size on this thing. I believe it's probably 10 millimeter. Yep, 10 millimeter. Um, my stuff is so old that I can't even read what it says anymore. I don't wear it to death, but every one of your climb ropes is going to take each one of these hitch cords different. Every different climbing setup is going to react different to different hitch cords. I got this big, huge rigging prusik back here, which I don't use for anything other than rigging. Like I said, I have the 10 millimeter Rope Logic. I think I've given a couple of them away. I have, what do we have here? ABR maybe? Yep. There's an ABR. It's a great hitch cord. I think it's 10 millimeter too. If you can tell that most of them are about that length. I mean, like I said, I gave a couple of them away. I guess I don't have a favorite. It's all gonna boil down to what am I climbing on that day. Um, this Iron Street works awesome for the rope wrench because it's a longer hitch cord. It allows that extra wrap at the top and still doesn't get in the way of the rope wrench, which I really like. So what I got going on here? All right. Well, favorite hitch cord? Me too. Okay. I climbed with a Blake's hitch. Step of Faith says he climbs with a Blake hitch or blah 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 blah. A Blake's hitch for 12 years before he ever tried a mechanical device. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think a lot of the new guys are, hurting themselves by not learning the basics. There's no reason to jump straight into a rope wrench, a rope runner, and a Kimbo. You know, there's just a unisender. There's no sense in doing that without learning the basics. A man should be able to take a hanker rope, which is a 50-foot section of rope, and should be able to take care of a tree with just that. I would have no issues with that. Throw your ropes up, set it, no throw ball, no nothing, and you should be able to work a tree. Try that sometimes, because what if you get stuck and you don't? What if? Once again, what if you only have a rope and you need to? What if you're stuck out there, something happens, you drop that gear, no one's there to send it back up? Can you get down? Because you really need to be able to. So I agree, Step of Faith. I learn the basics. 12 years on a Blake's hitch, ain't nothing wrong with that. I probably spent that long. I didn't use a Blake's hitch. I used, I guess what everybody else calls a monkey fist or whatever. I don't know. Like I said, I learned from my dad, and I ran with that. And I used it for years and years and years, and then I learned everything else little by little on my own before I started making videos. Let's see. Chris Sims, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, Arbiter, I like how small it is too. It's just so nice and compact, isn't it? The Akimbo. Sim says likes the video and the live content. Awesome. You know, I didn't know how you guys were gonna like the live feed here, but you know, if it's something you guys like, I have no problems doing it. The akimbo looks nice. Yes, it does, Robert. When you get one, send me one. I think he's talking about using the tail of the same rope. Oh, as a second tie-in. That's something that I've always done. I feel like there's no sense in grabbing another rope, an additional rope, and getting it all stretched out and all over the tree where you're looking to be able to rig and it's in your rigging area. No sense in that when I could just as easily use the tail and it's only for work positioning. So usually if you see me tied in more than twice, it's that's the technique I'm using. I'm using the tail and just making the most out of what I got at the time for better work position. Um, I can understand where someone would think that that's could be unsafe, but it's kind of something I've dialed in over the years and seems to help me a lot. I haven't ran into anything negative with it yet, but that's not to say that there's not, you know. So let's see. Except it's not midline attachable. So I'm some of these questions or comments I'm can't remember the last comments. Zigzag's not midline attachable. Yeah, that zigzag not being midline attachable is the only thing that has stopped me from really wanting one and getting one. So been selling firewood. Well, that's awesome. Stephen Face says his boys have been selling that firewood. You guys gotta go over and check him out. You know, there's been a lot of people that have joined the channel that I try my best to kind of for those of you who like the content and the tree work and stuff like that, I try to push off and maybe give you a few other people to look up. Scoot TCI has been just awesome. I like his videos. He has good content. Poplar Mechanic, real good content. I like his. Um, Step of Faith, go check him out. He's a he's a guy that knows how to deal with what he's got and make the best of it. And he's got an army of boys that look like they can keep this going for a long time. So teach them right now, and he's gonna be in business for a long time. And you know, there's other people that you know have joined, and I didn't have the privilege of any other YouTubers giving me any shout outs or kind of linking me, you know, from their page. So I figure I try to do as much as I can. If I can help somebody that's starting out a page and maybe send some viewers or subscribers their way, why not? I don't understand why. If you don't do something like that, it's because you're intimidated that they're going to become better. I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. So, you know, I'm surprised guys like Poplar Mechanic, his channel's not bigger. Um, Another guy, Mike Frizzle, great content, great guy, just in general, just an all-around good guy. And that doesn't even count what he's done for our country. That's just what he's done for me. So, you know, it is what it is. I try to help out anybody I can. Let's see who we have here. Eduardo. If you had to start over on your gear, what would be the 5 things that you would get first, not including mainline and saddle? Wow, what a good question. Um, hmm. I'd make sure I had a good throw ball and throw line. I'm gonna put them together. So there's one thing. You always want to be able to set your line before going up the tree. I understand that you can put on spikes and climb up in the tree and then set your line, But a lot of injuries happen on that whole process of getting up there. Why take that chance, that 10 minutes that you're climbing up there where all the danger's at, when you could throw a throw ball up and set that rope from the ground and be safe on the way up. Tend your slack on the way up. If you slip, who cares? You're caught. You're in a good spot. Um, Getting off subject. So, throw ball. Carabiners. Hitch climber pulley. Prussics. And a wrench. Because with a hitch climber pulley and some prussics, you're DRT. You're set. Okay? All you have to do from here is add a rope wrench. And now you're SRT. It's not another $300 in equipment. It's not, you know, it's not that big of a jump. I feel like you have the best chance of advancing yourself and learning new things with this setup. The hitch climber pulley, Prussic, carabiners, dough ball, wrench. I think that's 5. Maybe. No, I hope that answered your question, Eduardo. Holy cow, my phone almost fell and it's already cracked to death. Just want to say I love the channel, bro. And now you're straight up. Keep up with. Hey, thanks, Tree Trimmer 82. I appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate having guys like you around. Have you tried using a longer bungee over your shoulder so you get more stride? Arbor Care, I said, no, actually, I get a full stride usually when I'm climbing, but I use, to tend my slack, I use the 4 SRT chest harness, which is really simple. It hooks up like this. When I say it's simple, now I'm going to take an hour and a half clipping it on. I got all my clothes on right now. So, but look, it's just set up that easy. What you would do is click in here. So while I'm clicked in, I'm heading up. It's tending my slack for me. I feel like this is, when it comes to tending slack, this is where it's at. So if you guys haven't tried that, that's another piece that I would definitely get. You know, I've had it for probably a year now, and works great. Okay. Arbor Care says a butterfly knot and a beaner stave on loop runner. Yeah. SRT is another world, Joey says. Yeah, it is somewhat, you know, it's its own thing. What's the most redirects you do on one climb? Oh wow. Wow. I bet I've been, that's where SRT, if you're in DRT, or, okay, for those of you that don't know this, DRT has now been switched the terminology to MRS, which is moving rope system. Okay? DRT is a moving system at all times. So, you need that system to constantly be moving. So anything you redirect through is going to create friction. SRT has been switched to SRS, which is stationary rope system. That's because that rope never moves. Your system moves on the rope, but the rope never moves. So that allows you to throw as many redirects as you want. Let's say you want to put it through 20 different crotches, have 20 of them clips. You're all over that tree. It's everywhere. It's a spider web. You're still going to move on that rope just as smooth as you did with one redirect or no redirects. That's the best thing about SRT. It's a stationary rope. The system moves on it. So do as many redirects as you want because it's not going to make a difference. Now, on the other hand, if you're doing that with DRT or MRS, it's going to create way too much friction. You're not going to be able to move. So, to answer your question, as many as I can. Gosh, yes, Chris. Oh, okay, yeah, Chris nailed it. Yep, he did. Does anyone use the Captain Hook? Oh, dang it. Yes, dang. I don't know if you guys seen it in the last. I don't know if it was the last video. It may have been. I was given a rope that has a built-in hook, and it actually has some other rings made onto that hook. That's what I use. I don't use the Captain Hook. I use that, and I actually can make that system retrievable. The other end of the rope has a clip on it, so that I can clip it onto my line, throw it wherever I need. I'll use that hook in, throw the gree on it, and it captures all the movement so I don't slide back. So yeah, the Captain Hook is a really good device, especially for guys that are pruning and you're needing to get around in the tree, no spikes. It's a really good tool to have. I know Joey's got one. Joey's got one, so I don't have the actual Captain Hook, but I know that it's a great piece to have in your toolbox. Arbor Care says it's awesome too because he knows what he's talking about. Would recommend a hook to all climbers. Yeah, definitely. Derek says, sweet. Did you see the retrievable daisy chain I came up with today for anchor points? It could be used as a floating system. Yes, I did, Joey. I seen what you was doing. I always see what you're doing. You know that. But yeah, I did. And daisy chain is it's a brilliant system for shortening any ropes. Anything you need that's too long, you need to shorten it to get that slack out of your way, stuff like that, and can combine things. So yeah, daisy chain, floating system there. I get what you're doing there. Um, it's all tinkering, man. I mean, you got to do that stuff to come up with new ideas. So. Tree Trimmer 82 says hit that like, guys. Hey, you guys don't hit that like button unless you want to hit that like button. I appreciate it, but it's not gonna change the way I feel about anybody if you guys don't like it. If you don't like it, if you do, awesome. Let me know so I can give you more. But yeah, let's see here. It is Joe for sure. I tried SRT, but the average tree height here is around 80 foot, and DRT works well here. Out west, I say SRT is preferred more. No. Then, yeah, and then he says Captain Hook is a lifesaver. I don't know. I mean, we have cottonwoods here. We have sycamore. We have pin oak, red oak. I know we have quite a few trees that reach 100 foot and more. So I DRT, if you're fine with working twice as much as I work, so be it. I mean, that's fine. But you have to work twice as much as I do to get in that tree when you do DRT. You have 2 loops of that rope. You have that full system there. You're traveling half as fast. Even if we were both running at the same speed, you're going up that rope half as fast as I am. Because mine's a stationary system, I'm moving on that single rope. You're trying to make 2 ends meet. So, it's all preference. I'll check it out after Joe. I'm not sure. Chris Sims says he's done that. Works best. Yep. You gotta do what works best for you. Leave slack to swing out of the way. Yep. I like how you guys, the conversations start. You guys get to answer each other's questions and stuff. That's just cool. Here, all the schools make you start on the Blakes, and I think you should. I really think you should. It Why not understand it? Why not have that trick in your back pocket? You know, you should. The concept and the understanding of the simple stuff will make you understand the technical stuff way more. I don't care what anybody says. If you comprehend and you understand a Blake's hitch, you're gonna understand a lot of the climbing systems and things about them. So the day you stop learning in this kind of work is the day you need to step away. You need to pack it up and call it quits before you get hurt or you get somebody else hurt. Because I don't think there's a day that I go to work I don't learn something new. So, and like I said, I've done this my whole life, it's 30 years more. Like I said, when I stop learning, I'm gonna step away. So, let's see here. Taut line. Robert, that's the name of. I go by Monkey Fist. Yeah, taut line. Hey, Tree Trimmer, you have a good night too. Everybody should know how to use a Blake's hitch. Yes, sir, they should, Arbor Care. Do I like the zigzag? You know what? I haven't had the privilege of running the zigzag yet, but from what I see, what I hear from everybody else, and just the mechanical concept of it, it's brilliant. Very smart. I'd like to have one day. Step Face said he made his 14-year-old son climb on a Blake's hitch for a year before using my zigzag. Awesome. And he was so funny with the lack of trust. And hey, can you blame the guy? I mean, you go off of a full knot. You know that rope's gonna hold you. You know it's gonna work. And then you go to this piece of metal with some little tongs on it. And you're clicking on the rope, and you're gonna put your life on that. Hey, that's a hard thing to do. It's hard to understand and trust your equipment. That's one thing you got to do. You got to trust your equipment. I trust steel chainsaws. I would prefer to not own anything other than steel because steel has done me right my career. So that's what I like. You know, stick with what's done you right and what you know works, and always try to invest in your longevity in this kind of work. Anything that can make it easier because we don't have a real long expectancy in this line of work. So, guys, it's getting pretty late, and I'm probably, let's see here, Sawmill John, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you, Scott. Oh yeah, Arbor Care says Richard Mumford that guy is a library of brilliant information. That is, if you're looking to hone in on all the tedious little aspects of this kind of work, that's the guy right there. He's brilliant. He just has a world of knowledge. I agree. Richard is very, very smart. Sawmill John says, I got a question. Well, what is it? Maybe I can answer it. Scott, Mike Frizzle is awesome. Yes, he is. One of the coolest cats I know. Mike gave me this. Mike gave me that right there. My crappy phone. That's at 150. And let me show you what I got for Mike. Christmas has been hectic, so I haven't had time to mail it yet, but this is for Mike. That's what us hillbillies call a 200T. And what you do is when somebody does you right, you do them right. So, as soon as I can get the chance here, this will be shipped to Mike Frizzle. To show a little appreciation for the fact that he sent me, that's all. The 150. Hey, Step of Faith. I'm always going to try to stay real as much as I can, buddy. I started on the exact same setup, coming from a high-angle rescue background, using the Petzl. All I know back then, yeah, Advanced Arborist Tree Service. Yeah, it's a very simple setup that really helped me understand SRT in general, really. Do your videos and appreciate you sharing your knowledge. Hey, that's not a problem, man. You know what? If I could help somebody, keep somebody safe, maybe I'll sleep a little better at night. Have fun pulling all them redirects out? Yeah. But a lot of times when I do SRT, I'll base anchor. So I may need an extra guy to put a little body weight on it, but my redirects really, for the most part, come back out. But yeah, you're right. If you was to set up, you know, like the speedline setups, you gotta go back up and unclick those, unless you just want to leave them. Reinforce the top 4 SRTs, just turn the other way. The lockjack sport. Arbor Care wanted to know if I've tried the lockjack sport. No, I haven't. What is it? It's for SRT? The Chainsaw Collector 360, he says he goes old school. There ain't nothing wrong with old school. It gets the job done. Spikes and a harness, hey. But, hey, if you take anything from this, invest in a good throw ball. Set your line up there. There's nothing wrong with being safe. Anytime you can be, I'm telling you guys, invest in your longevity. You don't get a long career in this. So when you can invest in your longevity, you gotta do it. Guys like August, you know, now he's got a crane. You think that's because he just wanted to buy a crane? No, he wants to stay in this kind of work. He wants to be productive. That's the kind of things you do. You do what you gotta do to stay in it. Billy Moore says you can't body thrust on SRT, right? I use double rope, but only because well, no, Billy, actually, I think it's not so much hip thrust, but with the Grigri system, you're actually pulling your slack and then kind of hip thrusting up, so with a foot loop, so it's still somewhat used. It just depends on the system. Hey guys, I hate to cut you off. If if I haven't answered your question, I'll try to get to it. But I basically just wanted to touch base with you guys, start the year out right, tease the fact that got some good videos coming up. Well, what I feel like's good, you guys may not, but yeah. Hope everybody had a safe New Year, and I will talk to you guys soon.